All right, now you're gonna be going into our pause bench press. Now you can do that banded warm up, of course, with some of like your beginning warm up sets, but once you're starting to put some weight on the bar, let's not continue that anymore with it. All right, so for our pause bench press, right, we need to make sure we set up our rack where we need it, right? So just almost right before a lockout, enough where you can clear that. I'm going to use the bench, right? You can see how I'm pulling my lower traps down, right? So I'm packing my scaps even more, and I'm using that bench to kind of like push into it in this direction as well, okay? I want to keep my butt on the bench, and I want to be able to use the floor to kind of brace myself, all right? So I can't be too far out or too far tucked. I want to be able to drive through the whole foot and kind of push out a little bit at the same time, okay? We talked about pulling that band apart, so we're trying to implement that here as well. Now, as I perform the press, I don't want to think just bring the bar down and then push it up. I want to think when I bring it down, I'm going to push my body into the bench. All right? I bring it down, I'm pushing my body down into the bench, okay? And I also want to think I'm going to reach, like I'm trying to pick my chest up to reach, but I can't take my butt off the bench, right? I was just kind of over-exaggerating it for you. I'm trying to reach my chest to the bar and push my body down. Reach my chest when I come down, drive it up. That's going to be 4 sets of 4 reps building. All right, moving on to some more chest. We are going to use our chest fly machine. Now, this machine is heavy-ish without any weight on it. So if you need to come here and use a pair of dumbbells or something lighter to either maybe build up to it, or maybe it's just too heavy to work with at all, that's okay. You can still use this angle of the bench and then just bring some dumbbells over. All right, so with this one, let me show you how to adjust it real quick. Shorter person, taller person through here, okay? With the pin in the front. So I'm going to grab one side at a time, bringing that up. I'm going to still think shoulders down. My core is going to be locked in, okay? I want to also think curl my knuckles in towards each other. I'm going to have that slight bend with the arm throughout the movement. So we're going to go alternating. There's going to be 4 sets of 8 reps per. I'm going to go as low as I can maintain control. I don't need to go past my body. All right, everyone's range of motion is a little bit different, okay? I want to make sure my core is nice and tight. So I'm not letting my body roll or pop open like this as that side pulls, okay? I'm thinking about locking, like I said, my ribs down, creating that pressure here. I can use the floor to push into as well to help me. I want to make sure that my arm isn't moving like the angle of my elbow when I come down to compensate for my core or anything like that, okay? Now to come out, same thing when I bend my arms. Because if you pull from down here or let it go from that far, that's a really big stretch. You could probably pull something. That's going to be 4 sets of 8 reps per side. You're going to be supersetting those chest flies with incline hammer dumbbell curls, okay? So when I lay back, I'm going to think about bringing my traps down. Wherever my arms hang, that's exactly where they're going to stay for the movement, okay? So I don't want to pull them forward. So right now, from my shoulder to my elbow, they're staying in the same spot. So I don't want to pull them forward, right? See how my elbow now is lined up with my body? So as it gets more difficult, it's like they are going to want to pull forward, but I remind myself, push them back on those last few reps when you're going to want to pull them forward, okay? And then same thing, I don't want my shoulders rolling forward either when I come down. So that shouldn't be moving. So that's where that scap control comes in order to keep them pinned down. This is going to be 4 sets of 6 reps. All right, our next grouping of exercises is going to be preacher curls, okay, for our biceps. For the bench, the handle is on this side. You just pull the pin out, right? Shorter athlete, taller athlete. I want to be in a position at least where when I sit or if I stay standing to do this one, my arms aren't up here, okay? Or I'm so, right, the seat would be so low where I can't let the entire back of my arm be on the bench. All right, so I need to be up enough where my tricep back here is supported, okay? This is gonna be 4 sets of 6 reps. Now on this machine, it will be the heaviest down here and it'll get lighter up through here, okay? So I'm gonna have a little bit of a curl with my wrists, all right? So kind of curl my knuckles towards me with this one. I wanna make sure I don't start with a locked out position. I wanna have a little bit of an arm bend, and I wanna keep an arm bend even when I go to my lowest point, okay? So if grabbing it from down here is too much of a stretch, you can come forward, help yourself a little bit on that first one, maybe a little bit of a cheat, and then you can start the reps from up here. So slight bend with the arm, come back up. If we go all the way down with this one, it's lightweight, so I can show you. It has the tendency to maybe pull on the bicep too much, so that's why we don't want a full lockout, at least with this angle. So like I said, it gets a little lighter at the top. So having the same force down here as you come up here, you'll notice you'll end up pulling it like a little closer. So just feel for that. You're going to feel it's heavier down here. It gets a little lighter through here, okay? I'm not that strong enough to hold the plank the whole time. All right, you're going to be supersetting your preacher curls with knees to elbows in plank position, okay? This is going to be 5 sets of 20 total reps. All right, so I have my plank, and I'm going to go 1, 2, so that's my count, 3, and 4. Making sure I'm not like leaning into it or piking my hip up in order to bring my knee back in, all right? I'm trying to stay straight and steady throughout my entire body as I'm doing the movement.